Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Hi! Oh my goodness. I gotta fix everything. Everything is out of control. Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Aristotle Full Throttle. This is the Aristotle Full Throttle Show. I should get a haircut. Oh, boy. Boy, oh boy. You know, it's funny. You think you should quit while you're ahead. Which is funny. That's what the lettuce said to the other lettuce. All right? Listen, dad jokes is what you abound. That's what you're here for. That's what I'm here to do. Welcome. Listen, if there's dad jokes out there, those dad jokes are hilarious. I would just like to say, while Amber Heard is out there, she's caught in a lie. She's caught in 47 lies. Listen, you might be tired of listening to Amber Heard. Hello, Raccoon Raiders. Welcome to the show. You might be tired of it. But I revel in the fact that this is what a liar looks like, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're sitting there saying, this is misogynist, you're only picking on her because she's a woman. No, if this was the exact same thing and the person was just out there like Gary Condit. You guys remember Gary Condit? No? You don't remember Gary Condit? Because Gary Condit and Chandra Levy was the biggest story. Connie Chung got the interview. It was crazy. And then 9/11 happened. So you don't remember that. Nobody remembers Gary Condit. But I was out there going, Gary Condit, what a jerk. What a liar. He's up to something. Why won't he just admit things? Turned out Gary Condit did not have to do with Chandra Levy's disappearance after all. Which is, people knew something was up, though. There was something up with that guy. He just wouldn't be forthcoming about something. And you say to yourself, what's going on with people? Why do they got to go out there and lie? Why do they dig themselves a ditch and keep digging? You wonder. I wonder. At what point is it diminishing returns, as it were? You know what I mean? Hold on. I'm just typing. Hey, Keltoline. Oh man, 90s throwback. Yes, remember Carrie Condit, Kelly? So, I was just saying, Gary Condit. not Amber Head, Amber Heard. You can't type too fast. If you type too fast, you write the wrong thing. She got a herd of herself. I'm just saying. I know you do. I know you do. Look. Shall we watch the interview? Let's just watch the interview. I'm going to do one of the breakdowns. There's been a million of these breakdowns, but I'm going to do 1,000,001 breakdowns of the interview, the Today Show interview. I didn't see that. It's going to be on Dateline, apparently. They've been teasing it all week. They're like, do you guys want to watch a liar lying? We got it Friday night. Here's 2 minutes on Tuesday. Here's 3 minutes on Wednesday of the clips of of a liar lying. Here comes a liar. I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to platform her any more than I am right now, actually. But you had it was great though, because what's her name, Savannah? She's good. She's asking the right questions. She's a lawyer. She's like this. You're lying though. Like, oh, let's just do it for entertainment. Listen, people are gonna call me sexist because of this. I'll do the same thing for anybody who's lying. This is the problem I have. I feel like I can't make comments on things. This is like, where do we draw the line? Do you see what I'm saying? Where do we draw the line? It's like, can you make a comment about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock without seeming like you're racist? It's like, well, no, this wasn't a black thing. It was a horrible, like, disgusting thing that one person did to another. So I'm just saying, I talked about the Will Smith slap for weeks and weeks and weeks. Was I considered racist? Was I saying, you know what I mean? Like, where does the spectacle become pigeonholed. See, here's my biggest problem with the whole Amber Heard situation before we get to watching the clips. My biggest problem with is that people who didn't watch it are saying it's horribly sexist and it's misogynist and everybody's being misogynist. That it's horrible. They were bad to each other, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and therefore, if you're dragging Amber Heard out and shining a light on her, you are being misogynist. Here's the problem, though. She won't go away. She keeps coming out saying, hey, look at me lying some more. And it's like, at what point do you go, all right, now we can lampoon her because she is just making a fool of herself for all of us to make a fool of. Here's the problem. She's proven to be a malicious defamer. She's proven this now. She had her day in court to prove her case, and she did not do that. She was unable to do that on account of things like facts and evidence not being on her side. So if we're going to talk about this in any intellectually honest way, please watch 100 hours of court like I did. I just think it's ridiculous. I think, the people who just tell me, I don't have time for that crap. It's horrible and it's misogynist or whatever. It's horrible and people are being cruel to the woman, the female party, and this is bad for abuse victims. I'm like, this is bad for abuse victims because there are real abuse victims out there. There are real ones who deserve to be heard and listened to and believed. But when someone comes out to lie maliciously and try to ruin someone else's career on purpose, maybe we should say, hey, let's go the opposite direction and, make fun of them. Let's read some of these comments. Ange and O. Hey, Ange.
What?
Let's do some quick versions of the intros. We got Raccoon Raiders in the house. I skipped to the end. We got Ange.
Say baby.
Yeah, that's the fast version. And we've got Khalid. Let's watch all comments. This was good. I don't want to make it. Who's been spoiling everything?
Khalid!
And I killed Sparky, too.
I just want to watch this one again.
I can destroy everything.
And you thought you were safe.
But I'm not. What? But I can. Baby. Shut up and give us your money.
I got you, Ange. Kelton says, I think Amber's team advised her not to do the interview, and she did it anyway. You know why? Because Amber has so much hubris in her narcissism that she believes that everyone except for her is stupid. This is true. This is why I think she's a worthy target of ridicule. Because she believes, and her saying, listen, juries are stupid. And facts and evidence, they didn't believe my facts or my evidence. It's because they're dumb. And everybody who testified, all 26 people who testified for Johnny Depp, they all lied. At what point does this just become absurd? I find it absurd, and I'm ready to talk about it and make fun of it. So let's do it. That's what I said. You heard me. Here we go. Ooh, that's the old one. Let's see. Still have never seen The Slap, says Kelton. Well, you're missing nothing, really. You're not missing anything. It's really just gross. It's just a gross thing. It's a moment where you're like, oh, this is a guy's greatest moment, and he turned it to garbage. Here's a moment where one of our heroes just ruined himself for everybody. It's not a very happy moment. I used to like Will Smith. You used to. Hold on. Used to like Will Smith. Now I'm just like, he's a punk. See what I'm saying? You know me, I talked about that slap for like weeks. So I gotta adjust for weeks and weeks. Now it's time for Amber Heard style. All right. And if you want to say that this is sexist, come at me with it. It's not. So I will show you why. This is a person who is vindictive and malicious and mean. Let's turn the Discord on. Savannah Guthrie. What a name. It's like so American. That's like the most American name. Sorta. Savannah Guthrie. Sounds like South and West.
Will stand by every word of my testimony.
First of all, she says,
Heard not backing down from her accusations of abuse at the hands of Johnny Depp.
This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through.
Her other
Really?
post-trial revelations.
well, this is the Entertainment Tonight version.
Love Nest, down the
Oh, this is going to be terrible.
the slap
Hang
from
on a second.
Tyler Perry's perspective.
When we walked over to him, he was devastated. He couldn't believe what happened.
What is it?
He couldn't believe he did it.
ET's The Download starts right now.
I'll fix this. Hold on. ET's the download.
We begin with Amber Heard doubling down on
Get out of here. Let's read some of these comments. She loves the spotlight. She apparently does love the spotlight, for better or for worse. Kelly says, but I'm not, but I can. Iconic Ange. That's so true. Iconic Ange. Iconic, quotable Ange. This, Sky News. This is what you read on the plane, right?
This is your captain?
All right, this is your captain speaking.
To seek out new life.
Captain, my captain. Johnny's team could have called many more witnesses, but didn't want to put a ton of people in that position, says Kelty. Yeah. Who goes to court because they want to?
This crew.
They could have easily been like, nah, that's okay.
It's been about more than a week since the verdict.
Exclusive.
As you sit here with me now, has it sunk in?
I see you sit here with me now.
How could it? It's surreal.
Her face is, she's like a little, listen,
Difficult.
I'm not going to make fun of.
Yes. This has been a long time coming. Do you stand by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about
How could it
abuse?
sink
Of
in?
course. To my dying day, we'll stand
It's
by
like,
every
no.
word of my testimony.
I'm a body language expert.
The defamation case
Okay.
between Amber Heard and her ex-husband Johnny Depp captivated millions of people around the world.
Amber Heard just got
Johnny Depp looked like a wet poodle. Also, that I would say, hold on, let me make sure that I can
Johnny
quickly pause and.
This is so cringe.
With clips
It's a slow pause situation.
spreading
Look at
across
my little
social
talking
media
head.
like wildfire.
I think vast majority of this trial
Kelsey Lee says her name sounds like she would have been a character in Steel Magnolias.
is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok. The jury's not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
Yeah.
How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned jury.
Here's the thing about people. When you ask someone a question, the answer is yes or no. When the answer is yes or no, people tend to go, yes. Do you think the jury said that? Yes. Her answer was, how could they not? Which is not a yes. See? It's weird. It's just a little weird when the answer is yes.
Juror. It would have been impossible to avoid this.
She says it would have been impossible to avoid the social media reaction, which, listen, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of no gender affiliation, I would like to say that it's possible. I would like to say that because she thinks it's impossible to avoid social media, but she thinks it's impossible to avoid social media, doesn't make it impossible to avoid social media. I would say that it's very possible. Also, if you're admonished every day by a judge to be like, hey, when you guys go home, don't look at TikToks, okay? Also, I'm asking this for myself. If you were on a jury watching things for 8 hours a day, you're not allowed to look at your phone, obviously, for 8 hours a day. Your only source of entertainment is lawyers presenting their case and people talking about their case with facts and evidence. If that's your only source of stimulation, information, and that's what your job is technically, that's your civil duty in that moment, I think you're going to weigh the evidence. I don't think you're going to go home and say, oh, this lady on TikTok says that Amber Heard is a crazy lady, so I should say she's guilty. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Would you rather defer to social media's decision on the greater... And, like, people are like, well, you just like Johnny Depp. You just like Johnny Depp, and that's the problem. Problem is, you think he's innocent because you like him. It's like, no. However, Johnny Depp is beloved in the mainstream. Listen, let's be real. Johnny Depp, people like Johnny Depp. He's beloved. He's likable. Problem is, well, the outrage comes into play is because he is a beloved figure, and here is a malicious person trying to hurt his image and his career as much as she can, you know, more than he could do for himself at this point. He's obviously, you know, got problems with drugs. He's got problems with other things. However, I believe him when he says the only person he's ever abused is himself. I believe that. That's my personal belief. Listen, I can relate in some ways to his situation. So when I see it, it looks almost exactly like, minus all the, you know, the drugs and stuff, but like, it looks very similar to my situation that I personally was in. And I'm like, this is too eerie. It's too many hallmarks, too close to sit here and be like, to give Amber any more benefit of the doubt. Because at this point, I'm like, you done did it. You didn't convince anybody. And now you're continually not convincing anybody. Kelterlee says, just watch any clip of Mike Pence being interviewed. He refuses to answer yes or no questions. You know, Kelterlee, really important you bring that up. Is questions of right and wrong and Jesus and the Bible. That was my best Mike Pence. That's basically all he ever says. I'm Mike Pence. I am not attracted to men. I have a wife I call mother. Jesus, God, is Lord. I tried to make people ungay because I hate myself. I'm Mike Pence. It's true, though. Johnny Depp hasn't made a decent movie in 15 years, but I don't think he's evil. I agree with you. I see he's loyal to a fault because he said, hey, Tim Burton, let's make every piece of garbage. Let's just keep going. We did Edward Scissorhands and Sleepy Hollow and Ed Wood. We're on fire. Let's just keep going. Let's make those terrible movies we did one after another after that. I still didn't see Barbara of Seville or whatever, which one he was. Oh my God, it's too killed to the lean. Now I come to you with Mike Pence. I gotta get the snap filter on. If I get a snap filter, I might be able to do this. Hold on. Oh, did I delete the snap filter? Wait. If I could do snap filters, I'll put Mike Pence's face on my face and I'll just be him for a minute. Only for a minute. Here, let me get a picture of Mike Pence. But Mike Pence none the richer. Let's see. PNG. You gotta get the PNGs. I like a PNG that's actually a PNG. I gotta get his like fake concern face. He always points. I'm pointing at nobody. I'm pointing at nobody. I'm pointing at nobody. Nobody up there, Jesus. That's it. That's Mike Pence. Oh, here we go. I got to get the concerned eyebrow. Yeah, there it is. Because it's so fake. The dude's a psychopath. In my opinion, listen, everything on the show is my opinion. I don't want to get sued. I'm not trying to defame anybody. I'm just trying to make people laugh. That's my thing. It's all my opinion. I'm not sitting here accusing Mike Pence of being a closeted homosexual. I'm not accusing him of that at all. I would never say a thing like that. No one's ever thought that about Mike Pence being a closeted homosexual who hates himself so much he's trying to make other people not gay. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it might have been said. So you might have heard somewhere. Not here. You would never hear that here. You would never hear that Mike Pence is a closeted homosexual who hates himself so much that he tried to put people through torture in order to make them not gay anymore. Because that would be horrible. Could you imagine a vice president of the United States being that? You know, a closeted homosexual who hates himself so much that he tried to make other people ungay? I would never say such a thing. This is a good Mike Pence. This one's all right, but it's not. I got to make the eyebrows a little bit more concerned. Come on, PNGs. I listen. It's harder and harder to find a real PNG because everybody, they're like me. You know what PNG is? It's like a transparent image. I'm trying to find one, and it's very difficult nowadays to find one because the entire world likes to make it difficult. Kelton Lee says, Ange and I literally calculated before I said 15 years. Sweetie Todd's was pretty good. That's what Ange says. I got to check out Sweetie Todd's. I didn't see that one yet. If anybody could send me a transparent Mike Pence image, because I would love to have one right now, but it's very difficult. Here we go. Half the show is fixing the show. You're absolutely right, Ange. I'm trying to fix the show. You know, this would have been funny 5 minutes ago. No. Kelton Lee. It's good to see you out there. I'm pointing to you, Kelton Lee. I don't see you anywhere. No. There it is. There it is. And some people think that I'm a closeted homosexual who hates myself so much that I would pay for conversion therapy for homosexual youths so that they would hate themselves so much like I hate myself so much. Because I hate the fact that I hate myself so much. And no one else hates themselves as much as I hate myself. So I would like for them to hate themselves as much as I hate myself. Because Jesus and the Bible, but not really. That's just, I hate myself. Thank you for the question. All right, well, thanks, Mike Penis. All right, let's watch this.
People online and crowds outside the courthouse made it
I can
clear
pause.
where they stood.
Every single day I passed for 3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks.
She's like, I passed 3 and 4, sometimes 6 blocks.
Blocks lined with people holding signs saying burn the witch, death to Amber. After
No, she says she saw these signs. Burn the Witch. Good song by Radiohead, by the way. You guys know that song, Burn the Witch? Sounds like that, in case you wanted to know what Radiohead sounds like. That's a good song, Burn the Witch. But she's like, signs like death to Amber. Can someone produce a sign that says death to Amber that was actually that she encountered? Can someone please find an actual photo of that? Because I think she's like, you know, they say like, I don't know, death to Amber. I think she made that up, honestly. I think she made that up.
After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand and saw just a courtroom packed full.
Ange, I'm glad you can't believe that you and Amber Heard are the same age. Yeah, Ange, I'm glad that you did good with your life and you didn't try to ruin someone else. Because that seems like malicious and mean and defamatory. Seems like not the way to go. Maybe do what you've done with your life and work on yourself to be a good person. See what I'm saying? Celtic Elite says it was known as being incredibly progressive because of how many gay Catholic men attended that church. Interesting. Mike Pence met mother. Mike Pence? Just Mike Pence? Yo, to the lean. I'm glad you brought that up. Now, me and mother, we're Catholic, Jesus-loving, Catholic, God, Jesus, Mary of Joseph. Jesus-loving, Joseph, God-fearing, Peter, Michael, Kevin, Steve, all the disciples. We love them all. We love every disciple. Bobby, Freddie, Bernie Mac, every disciple. See, me and mother, we'd go down to the black church every Friday. We'd stay there for 5-6 hours, and turns out you can't make people unblack. I tried. Believe you me, I tried. I tried to make every person at the black church unblack, like I tried to make gay people ungay. Thank you. What? Mike Pence is not only trying to convert people from being themselves, other people, not being themselves? That seems ludicrous.
Of Captain Jack Sparrow fans who were vocal, energized.
Can you put into words how...
Oh, here come my ad.
Do my dreams keep me up?
Guys, don't buy this. Whatever this is, don't buy it. This isn't my ad. I don't want it. Don't. This is terrible. This is a terrible thing. Don't go golfing. Who goes golfing? Don't. No. Why are they targeting me for golf swings?
Is jet lag setting me back?
Why is it they targeting me? Do I look like I play golf? Let me ask you a question. Why? Listen, YouTube, Google, whoever you are.
The most advanced fitness and health coach.
Whoop. All right, get out of here, ad. Skip that ad.
That felt.
This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through. I have never felt more removed from my own humanity. I felt less than human.
Let's
felt
go
less than
back
human.
to the day of the...
You know who felt more than human? Rob Zombie. Because he's more human than you, man. Everything reminds me of a song. Savannah Guthrie, Woody Guthrie. See?
Verdict. Were you feeling
Is that her granddaddy?
confident?
Arlo? Let me see.
That's a great question.
She goes like this. That's a great question. Watch this. Watch this. Listen, I've become an expert body language analyzer. Watch what she says. She goes, that's a great question.
That's a great question.
Come on now. Don't tell me she's not happy about that question. Look, that's a quick question.
Great question.
Mad. Rolls her eyes. Come on, now this is called a micro expression. Some of you out there know them as microaggression. Look at that.
Great
Watch
question.
this.
I wish I could.
I find her. I want to expose her. This is what I want to do. This is why I'm doing this. Because I want y'all to see what this looks like. And I know you do. I hope you do. If you don't, this is the point. I would like for people to see that this is someone who has the spotlight and is abusing it. It's terrible. It's very terrible.
That's a great question.
Rolls her eyes. Listen, I'm not slandering anybody. I'm just making jokes. This is comedy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes to that. I want to say yes to you.
I want to say yes to you. So why not?
But it wouldn't be true. Even if you think.
So then say no. Or not.
That I'm lying, you still couldn't tell me, look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation.
Here's a problem with the fair representation on social media. If you go out there and you defame someone and then you're mean about it, and then you continually go out in the spotlight trying to win over public attention, trying to win over public because clearly you think a jury is too stupid, the evidence doesn't matter, the other people on the other team, hey, here to dink. I hope you're here to dink because we're dinking. I'm just talking about how absurd it is to watch someone go out there and after defaming someone, after doing this, then to try to change the narrative, to gaslight the public. This is what people like her do. This is literal real-time gaslighting. She's like, you didn't see what you just saw. Everybody on social media, they were wrong. All of the witnesses that testified for the other guy, they were wrong. The jury got it wrong. You should believe me and me alone. I alone is a song by... That's another song. Live, remember that song? It was break into song every now and then. Is it? It's easy not to be... You guys know, you can sing, right? To cradle the baby in space. 90s. Tainted to fate, yeah. Yeah, there you go. ADD Theater, thank you for being here. Let's go back to the videotape. She never thought Johnny would respond to her lies. That's true. She's actually on recording saying, Johnny, why don't you just take this to court? See what happens when you tell everybody that you were abused, that you, a man, were abused. See what happens. See what the jury says. She's on tape saying this, ladies and gentlemen. And then, 6 years later, they're in court. And guess what happened?
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
That's what happened.
After the 6-week trial, the jury found Heard defamed Depp in a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which she wrote she was a public figure representing domestic abuse. She never mentioned her ex-husband by name. Depp denied the abuse allegations in court. Heard won just one of 3 claims in her countersuit against her.
I didn't see any of that.
That verdict came less than 2 years after a judge ruled against Depp in a similar case in the UK, in which he sued a British newspaper that called him a wife beater.
There was another trial, dealt with the same substantive issues that had even more evidence in. In fact, my evidence was largely kept out. Really important pieces.
You know, if it's important enough, it would have kept it in, right? She walked all over the relationship she felt she'd just continue. Here to Dig says, first Amber was trying to be an actor, now she's trying to be a magician. Yeah, she's trying to make it all go away. She's trying to make it all disappear.
Pieces of evidence kept out. Done differently, handled differently by a judge instead of a jury.
Some evidence is admissible in a UK court that is not admissible in a US court. Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues.
For some people...
Hold on a second. The lawyers distracted the jury from the real issues. Now, it's very difficult to prove defamation. It's very difficult because it's like a whole... She starts to talk about this in a minute. I saw this interview. It's very difficult. You have to prove that the person who defamed the other person, that they said something that they knew was false, publicly published it in order to hurt the other person maliciously. Like, you have to prove all of those things, and this is what happened. We proved those things. Got to turn on Discord. Kelton Lee says, Wash Poe. Wash Poe was a boneheaded for running that op-ed and incredibly messy, the complicated situation. It's my lawyer's fault I lost. So, yeah, exactly, Raccoon Raiders. No, I got it wrong. Sorry. Everyone on social media, they're wrong. All of the jurors, they were wrong. Everyone who testified on behalf of Johnny Depp, they're wrong. Yeah, man. That's everybody on my Discord. Thank you. And her own lawyers were wrong. So now we again have to only take her word for it. Yet she made these accusations. She went to court, was not able to prove any of it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's watch more.
People, they just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you. Can you understand that?
Absolutely. I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that it is Hollywood brats at their worst. But what people don't understand is it's...
That's one of my favorite parts of the interview. She's like, I can understand that most people think that this is just a bunch of knuckleheads. But what they don't understand is, let me tell you the real truth of what's happened. Let me tell you the only one and only truth, because clearly nobody believes me in court. My lawyers lost me the case. Everyone on social media has influenced the jury. The jury are too stupid to do their job. It doesn't get any better than this. Now, and I can understand that people think, it almost sounds like she's going to take ownership for a second. She's almost going to admit some kind of fault for like a half a second. And then she says, but what they don't understand is...
It's so much bigger than that. This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak.
But here's the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech. It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation.
Oh, Savannah just dropped some knowledge. I would just like for you to look at Amber's face right here, which is the, you're right. You know what? You're right. You're right. Listen, you can become a body language expert like me. That's the face of someone who just got humiliated. Savannah just said, hey, come on. You could say whatever you want, but if you're lying and someone sues you for it, hey. That's amazing, right? Look at that. She said.
That was the issue in the case.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. How much does this remind you of like someone in high school? You didn't do your homework, did you? No, I didn't. I did my homework. Yeah, I did. But what I did was, it's like, this is like 10th grade lying levels.
Exactly. You can't go into, the free speech does not protect you if you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, from first-hand knowledge of having dealt with a person like this in my life, this is what they call the filibuster. Check this out.
Into a crowded theater.
Okay.
And you scream fire.
Right. Okay. First Amendment.
Free speech
Yeah.
from
Okay. The concept. The Greeks. So wait, we're talking about Greeks now. How did we go from? Wait. Now I'm confused. This is called gaslighting. We get the concept of free speech. She's giving us a history lesson because we're all stupid. We're all too stupid. Savannah Guthrie, lawyer, journalist, is like, okay, yeah, go right ahead. Tell me how the free speech works. Oh, tell me. Go ahead. She's like, okay, go ahead. Tell me how it works. Go on.
That means it's not just.
Yeah. She's like, right. Oh, you're talking about free speech. Okay. Pass the bar.
It's a freedom.
Oh, man. I have got the giggles right now, man. Ooh. How bad is that? Yeah. And the ancient Greeks taught us how to free speech. And once you, in Greeks also, they like the olives. There's a lot of olive oil. And if you cook with olive oil, it can be very delicious. Sometimes it has a strong taste. You use extra virgin olive oil. And that's what my point is. You can't burn olive oil because it's carcinogen.
Freedom to speak truth to power.
Okay.
Truth is the.
Savannah comes in with the right hook right now. Watch what happen.
It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
This is the part where she says, I think I have a thought. This is the part where she said, I think this is, I've heard this before. Truth to power.
It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
That's the phrase.
But truth is the word.
Yes.
And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke. And I spoke.
She said, but truth to power only works when you speak the truth. Good golly. Good golly. How about right? There's an ad coming up. Yeah, the truth to power part works when you speak truth.
Get to power, and I paid the price.
Paid the price. You pay $8 million. That's what you gonna pay. She's like, I don't got it. She's like, well, I don't got it. Ads. I like Star Trek though. She's like, well, he sued me and he won.
The Depp lawyer said, called your testimony.
Net of $8 million. Well, I don't got it.
Of a lifetime, and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
I don't know about you, but when I saw Edward Scissorhands, the movie, I was a kid. I saw it at the Iceland movie theater. I walked with me and my friend Scott. We went and saw it. We saw the movie Edward Scissorhands. We went to the movie. We watched the movie. We enjoyed the movie. Said that was a good movie. I don't think at one point before the movie, during the movie, or since watching the movie, I believed that Johnny Depp has scissors fingers.
I'm the performer.
Yeah. I don't know about you out there. Oh, you ever see I don't know. What other movies have Did you know that Arnold Schwarzenegger has a metal endoskeleton? I'm convinced. I've seen all of those Terminator movies. And every one of those movies, he gets his skin ripped off. And underneath the skin, they got wires and bolts. Let me just say, that Arnold Schwarzenegger He's the Terminator. He is the Terminator. And he's back. He'll always be back.
I had listened to weeks of testimony.
You know what? I'm wrong. I should call up Scott right now, live on the air, and ask my friend Scott, who I saw Edward Scissorhands with. I'm going to say, hey, you remember that movie we saw? You think Johnny Depp really got scissor fingers? We'll see what he say.
Insinuating that, or saying quite directly that, I'm a terrible actress. So
I think she was telling the truth there when she said, I'm a terrible actress.
I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
The Depp team.
Well, here's how it goes. You were terribly acting and nobody believed you. That's what happened. They weren't saying you were a good actress. They were saying that you were acting and you were acting terrible and they didn't believe you. That's what they were saying.
Argued that you were the abuser, that you instigated physical violence. Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. When you're living...
I never had to instigate it. I just did it.
In violence, and it becomes normal, as I testified to. You have to adapt.
You say you were responding, but there is evidence. There are tapes in which you acknowledge hitting. There are tapes in which you say...
Savannah, stop going to the facts.
I started the fight.
I know much has been...
Computer think.
...made of these audio tapes. They were first leaked online after being edited. What you would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening. It was evidence of a negotiation of how to talk about that with your abuser.
But I am looking at a transcript that says, he says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. I mean, this is in black and white. I understand.
Savannah, again, with the facts.
Context. But you're testifying and you're telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
As I testified.
Savannah don't got no patience like the rest of us. Watch it. Watch Savannah. She said, you said you did.
Testifying and you're telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
As I
I mean, does anyone else find this as funny as me? If you do, please let me know in the comments, because I cannot stop laughing. Because at this point, you just say, you did someone dirty, just go away now.
I testified on the stand about this, is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in
That's true.
an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury.
Hold on a second.
You shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do.
Did she just exclude herself from someone who is being abused psychologically, physically, and emotionally? I think she just excluded herself from that group of people.
Will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for? But when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do.
Listen, she's not very good at talking. And here's an example. She just said, those people who suffer abuse don't have the resources you or I have.
With the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it.
But then there are other times. There's another tape where you're taunting him and saying, oh, tell the world.
It boils my blood. Boils my blood.
The victim of domestic violence.
20-second clips or the transcripts of them are not representative of even the
bring the whole clip.
3 hours that those clips
Oh, bring it in.
Could your side have just put the whole 3 hours in then?
I'm not only sorry, but as I testified.
You know, the evidence, it was out of context. Well, then bring in the context. Bring in the, it's called like completion or something like that. Bring in the complete record. Well, you know, I'm not a lawyer. Oh my God. That's so ridiculous. Yeah. Kelton leans it. Raccoon Rage says, were you lying then? Or you were lying now? Either way, she's established she's a liar. This is absolutely true. And I agree, Andrew. This is hilarious. Ange says, the part made me angry is when she taunted him. And I was done with her then. Yeah. I mean, there's tons of that too. There's another tape where she's laughing like an evil laugh. She's like, and you're like, ugh, who laughs like that? It was terrifying in the sense that you're like, this person's capable of anything, it sounds like.
I was talking in those recordings as a person in extreme amount of emotional, psychological, and physical distress.
He says he never hit you.
He says he never hit you. Let's see her response. Wait, let's see. Raccoon Raider says, what about her arrest for attacking her friend at an airport, later claimed that the cop was just homophobic and misogynistic. P.S. The female cop that they said, I'm a lesbian and I'm not misogynistic. That's also true. Yes, that was her former partner that she attacked at the airport, which was witnessed. Amber Heard attacked her former partner at the airport, which was witnessed. Yeah, she's totally. So Savannah says, he says he never hit you. Now let's see her response.
Never. Is that a lie?
Yes, it is.
What about the witnesses?
Okay. I don't know.
Who said they have seen you instigate physical violence?
I've seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Did they all come in and lie in court?
It's a good question. Did they all lie? I don't disbelieve her when she says that it's a lie that Johnny Depp said he never hit her. So that's concerning.
I'm not here to call any of his witnesses any names. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as the person who sat there.
When I asked his lawyers, why do you think?
Is there someone out there that has made the meme yet? Because I'm sure they have with The Room, with Johnny Depp's face on Tommy Wiseau going, I did not hit her.
You won. And the answer I got was because she never took responsibility for anything she did in the marriage.
Yeah, that's true.
I did do and say horrible, regrettable things.
Kelton Lean says, I've known my best friend for 30 years, and I've never heard her call someone evil until this piece of work. Yeah. I mean, there is a point where you're like, this person, at what point is this self-preservation, or is this just trying to be like inflicting damage? You know what I mean? At what point is she trying to preserve her own self or trying to hurt someone else? This is my question. That's my question.
Things throughout my relationship. I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways.
Ownership?
There's so much, I have so.
Kinda. Ownership would have been like, I did these things and I'm sorry for it. She's like, that was unrecognizable. So it's still a little bit of a separation.
So much regret. I freely and openly.
Me too, Savannah. Me too.
Involuntarily.
Savannah said like this. Me and Savannah like this. We watched it with the stink eye. Someone take a screenshot. Doesn't sound right. Just me and Savannah. We like this. That's the face of, really? Really? Really?
Entirely. Talked about what I did. I talked about the horrible language. I talked about being pushed to the extent where I didn't even know the difference between...
Savannah don't buy this at all.
You know, right and wrong. I will always...
Cops coming for her.
To feel like I was a part of this, like I was the other half of this relationship, because I was. And it was ugly.
Yeah.
And could be very beautiful. It was very, very toxic. We were awful to each other. You know, I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. But I've always told the truth.
Really? How could you claim to have always told the truth when you're, like, demonstrably lying many, many times? I've always told the truth is kind of a lie. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's my take on the whole thing. Yoink. What do you guys think? She's making the face of, we both know you just farted, says Kel to the lead. Yeah, that's the teacher listening to someone's BS, says Raccoon Rangers. Rescue Rangers. You know, now I say this, and I'm not doing this to... actually, I'm not doing this to disparage someone for no reason. I'm trying to expose to people maybe who haven't watched the thing. And this is the, you know, people go, well, people behave differently and they act weird and sometimes they're emotional in different ways that we not expect them to be. And, you know, if they're a victim and you're like, yes, I agree with all of the things you said. So, but did you watch this particular trial? Because if you watch this particular trial, you would say, oh, this lady, she's mean and she's doing this on purpose. She's trying to hurt somebody for her own gain. And that's where the problem is. That's where it gets frustrating for me to watch. I don't know about you, but yeah, it was kind of one of those trials where you just say, it's sensational. But some people, the thing that just really, honestly, gets under my skin is all of the people who knee-jerk will jump to Amber Heard's side and also categorize this as misogyny, as people like treat the way she's being treated. But I'm like, people are coming at her because she is who she is, which is she's just painting herself this way, this as this like kind of this malicious person who keeps lying and continues to lie. And you go, well, that's just all right. Well, now you're just opening yourself up for being lampooned in the media. In my opinion, if you're going to make these accusations to somebody, they're very serious accusations. There are people who out there who are truly victims of horrible abuse. And Amber Heard was psychologically evaluated and found not to have PTSD, which she claims to have had, but was found not to have had. And people who do live with that can't function normally from day to day. So, whatever her motivation is, it's just not, it's not being received well. And I think people are trying to gang up on someone who is clearly trying to bully. In my opinion, Amber Heard has been the bully this whole time. We know we like what we say about bullies.
I could do this all day.
We say, hey, bullies. I don't like bullies. She's been trying to bully the internet. She's trying to bully Johnny Depp. She's trying to bully the jury. Say, your juries are wrong. Y'all wrong. Everybody's wrong. She's doing it in her vulnerable, narcissistic way, in the sense of I'm the victim of everything. She's the victim of everything. Everything has happened to her. Yet this is the complete denial of any type of accountability for her own actions. Say this is all happening to her, that the whole internet's against her, that her own lawyers weren't able to defend her, and the jury was against her because of the internet was against her. And like, it's just, it starts to not add up, because why wouldn't she just go quietly into that good night? Johnny Depp did. Johnny Depp said, I'm gone. I ain't even going to collect the money. I just wanted to say, you lied to me, and you lied to the world, and you made me lose my livelihood, which did not have to happen as a result of their toxic relationship. None of that had to happen. They could have gone their separate ways and been without each other and probably better off. So, Raccoon Rager says, I think she kept the ACLU money because she never intended to give it, just pledge it. Oh, yeah. Over and over. Even Savannah brought that up in the other interview. She's like, we all know donate and pledge mean different things, right? And she's still sticking with that lie. She's still sticking with it. She just won't move on from it. But that's that. I think it's important that we acknowledge what ownership looks like versus what it doesn't. Also, if she's going to try to gaslight and change the narrative, let's just hold her to the facts. Let's just hold her to the facts, continually repeat the facts. This is what I say about Donald Trump. This is what I say about anybody that you get into an argument with online. Just keep repeating the facts over and over again, because they won't change. So, she's going to try to change the narrative. Let's go. Let's remind her of what she said. That's all I'm saying. Next week, we'll be talking more about Will Smith and the slap. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. I will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye, y'all. Bye.